Austin Hatch, a walking, talking miracle, refused to let an unthinkable tragedy destroy his life. The 25-year-old is the sole survivor of two plane accidents that happened 8 years apart and claimed the lives of 5 members of his immediate family. Austin Hatch's life changed forever on September 1st, 2003, when his family's single-engine plane burst into flames after crashing into a utility pole while landing. Austin was saved when his father, Stephen, threw the 8-year-old out of the plane's window, but his mother, Julie, 11-year-old sister, Lindsay, and 5-year-old brother, Ian, did not make it out alive. A few years after the accident, Austin's dad found love again, marrying Kimberly Neal, whose 3 children welcomed Austin into their blended family. Through focus and drive, Austin became an all-star basketball player, and in June of 2011, his dream became a reality when he was offered a full-ride scholarship to play for his mother's alma mater, the University of Michigan.
911?
Yeah, we just had an aircraft crash just north of the airfield. It should be on the street just north of the airfield. It's just to the left of, oh my God.
But then just 9 days later, another unimaginable tragedy. Another plane crash, shattering Austin's life yet again. This time, Austin's father and stepmother were killed. Austin, also in the plane, was critically injured after the plane missed a runway and crashed in northern Michigan.
Who could have imagined 8 years later, roughly the same trip by the same pilot would be doomed again?
The 16-year-old sustained a traumatic brain injury, forcing doctors to put him in a medically induced coma for months. When he woke, he had to learn to walk, talk, even breathe again on his own. Miraculously, Austin had survived. Well, not only did Austin survive, he's thriving. Austin is now 25 years old. He's happily married and using his story to help others overcome adversity. And he joins us from his home in Petoskey, Michigan. Austin, thank you so much for joining me. You're just an inspiration on so many levels. And I know watching that video, seeing your parents and your siblings who are not with you today has to reopen this. How are you?
Yeah, it's, we're doing great, Tamron. We're doing great. Thanks for having me. It's really a blessing to be with you today. Thanks for the opportunity. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's hard to see those pictures. But I also recognize in addition to, but while I have lost so much, I also now have the opportunity to honor my family members in heaven every single day about how I live my life, how I go about my business, how I love my wife, and how someday I love our family. So.
Yeah. And I love that about you because, listen, we started off the show saying, with everything that's going on right now, there's someone who has lost their job, maybe in your family. You might feel guilty that you're still working, or someone business is closing, but your business is still open. Those are things that are happening right now. And there are different levels to this guilt, if you will, of doing okay, or in your case, surviving. How did you tap into, at such a young age, this ability to pull yourself out of the darkness? How did you know what to do?
Well, there's no playbook, so to speak, for overcoming the accidents that I was tragically forced to, the accidents that claimed the lives of my family, in addition to sustaining severe injuries myself. There's no playbook for that, but I just, tried to treat people the right way, focus on what I was so blessed to have, because while those accidents led to a lot of loss, a lot of pain, physical and emotional, I tried not to let those days outshine all the great blessings I still have in my life.
Your mother's alma mater in Michigan, all of this meant so much, University of Michigan, and you got your chance to be on that court. Tell me about that moment and how healing that was for you. That was in high school.
Yeah, well, it was incredible. Such a blessing to be able to go and spend a year in Los Angeles at Loyola. My coach there, Coach Jamal Adams, was an amazing guy, and is a dear friend to this day. And yeah, really, we had prepared for that. Prepared to get into a game. The goal was to get back into a game. and I wasn't ready when I first got out to California. But we put a lot of work in with my trainer, Rashid Hazard, who helped me overcome and helped me get better and relearn how to play the game. And eventually we got to the point where I was ready to go and get into a game, and we thought it was going to be safe for me to do so. And coach gave me an opportunity to go in and, ran a play for me, and I was fortunate enough to make the shot. So.
You took your shot and you made your shot. How do you describe your life at this point? When people say, oh my gosh, is it luck? How do you describe it at this point?
Well, I'm incredibly blessed, blessed, Tamron. And I can't ignore the reality of what I've been through. I can't ignore that. And of course, there's no replacing of my family. And that's a loss I'll live with for the rest of my life. But I also I choose to spend my time and energy and just count my blessings every day. And I have an incredible wife, and we look forward to building an incredible family of our own. So while I do have, so I've been through some terrible stuff, but I also choose to look at the glasses half full.